I want an extraordinary life. I want an extraordinary career. I want an extraordinary marriage. I don't want normal. I don't want normalcy. I feel like I've been chasing normalcy for so long because I didn't have it growing up that I kind of trapped myself being in this like normal way of living. This is really not about moving to a different country, moving to a different place. This is about owning your life and knowing that you have the power, not always the means, but the power to change it. And that's a mindset more than anything else. Okay, listen, I haven't sat down and had a solo or talked kind of face to face, face to camera in a while. I have to be honest with you, solos still feel pretty awkward to me because I expect these, I don't know what I expect. I have these really high expectations of myself, which is both good and not so good because they turn into just like heavy judgment. I wonder if anyone ever dealt with those. But yeah, that's something that kind of dawned on me the other week when I woke up at 3 a.m. being like, why am I so judgmental with myself? Anyways, back to the whole conversation about solos. That was kind of the reason I've been avoiding them, putting a lot of pressure on myself to, I don't know, to show up in ways that I didn't feel I could show up. So I am in a completely different state of mind this week. And in general, something shifted in me where I'm becoming way more confident in myself and my abilities. And I'm just kind of ready to show up the way I am in whatever way it is and see where it goes. So back to our solos. I actually want to start by talking about something that I posted today that I knew is going to trigger some people. I'm very vocal about the idea, not about the idea, but I'm very vocal about the fact that I absolutely love Miami so much. And I was sharing with Gary how, I have our team from Toronto here this week because we have the Creator Method event. And, I am like holding myself back from constantly saying how amazing Miami is, because that's what I do on a daily basis, by the way. Since I moved to Miami, I've been saying how amazing it is because I feel like I finally feel at home in terms of vibration. Like this city is a match to my vibration and gives me everything that I need and more. And I hold myself back from expressing this unlimited amount of gratitude because I don't want other people to feel bad. But this week, like I mentioned, there's been kind of a shift that's been happening for me where I just told myself, Valeria, you have to show up in your, I constantly talk about authenticity. I have to show up authentically. And yeah, it may trigger people in all areas of life. It may trigger people, and that's okay. I have faith and trust in everyone, especially my community that follows me, that sees my content, that if they get triggered, they know that this is something they have to get back to themselves and figure that shit out themselves, because I am just a reflection of how you feel and see your life and yourself, okay? So now that we stated that, I'm going to share with you what I shared today on my stories. Again, being like I am sharing my truth. So I posted me driving in Gary's convertible, which I straight up hated for so many years and didn't know why he had this car. And when we moved here, I started using it and I'm like, okay, I get it. So I did a hot Pilates this morning. I got into the convertible, took down the roof, palm trees, sunshine, vitamin D. I'm like high on life, okay? Endorphins are endorphing. And I posted because I remember that in May, we will be in Miami for 4 years, which is insane. It's been 4 years since we moved here. And I said how amazing and transformative that move has been for me. And I just can't imagine, and for Gary, honestly, and I just can comprehend the amount of change that happened within ourselves, but also in our life in general. Pretty, it's nothing out of the ordinary. People move, change their environments, and they're like showing gratitude. Of course, there were people that were messaging me being like, why you putting Canada to be this like terrible place that you escaped from. And, a lot of people are like, I really want to leave, but I don't have the ability to, and I don't know how to get out of this, whatever place they're in. And I think it's important to know that it has nothing to do with Canada. Okay, first of all, let's start there. It has nothing to do with Canada because I'm very grateful to Canada. Living there, I got to meet Gary. It provided a safe place for my mother and my brother and myself. I had my children there. So I am very aware how lucky we were to be able to move to that country. I just felt at some point that I reached a limit. I reached a limit of who I can continue becoming in this place that I'm in. And listen, again, your environment dictates so much of your future and what you're building towards. And I was very aware of it. I got some comments throughout my career of like, you were born in Russia, you lived in Israel, then you lived in Canada, you left all these places, like you don't have any kind of like loyalty to anything, to like a place. And the answer is yes, I do not have loyalty to a place. I have loyalty to myself and my family. And I don't think this is a very old school way of thinking, in my opinion. A country is not a home. A place is not a home unless you make one. And I just, again, filled with gratitude with what every country provided for me. But I am completely the author of my own book and my own life. And I have, I get to live this round and I want to make it count. So when I got those DMs and those kind of people commenting about how they feel that they're stuck where they're at, I have compassion for that, truly. I have compassion, but it also made me wonder because I am not delusional. Like, I understand that when Gary and I moved to Miami, it was from a very kind of privileged place. We had a business, we had an income, we could pay for the whole process. It was a very comfortable way to move to a different country. Don't get me wrong, I fully realize that. It was still hard, but it was nothing compared to what other people or our parents had to go through. But that's where I get stuck, right? I think about my mother, who moved 3 times from Russia at 22 with a 2-year-old to Israel. No language, no money, no nothing, no skills, nothing that she could transfer to Israel. Moved from Israel to Canada, again, now with a 10-year-old, no real skills because she was working as a singer back in Israel. And that's not really like any hard skills per se. They don't give you a visa because you have a beautiful voice. No money. Moved to Canada by herself again. And then moving here at the age of 52 with, an older husband, again, left her businesses in Toronto in Canada. Yes, she doesn't really have to provide for small kids, but again, a whole other set of limitations and hardships and challenges. So she did all of that. And I'm getting messages from people that are intelligent, able, working, doing what they need to do, that tell me that they are stuck. So that's, I guess, where I have the disconnect. And again, this is not saying that it is easy. It's not saying that it's even like something that everyone should do. I guess the power people give to their circumstances and kind of take away from what they're able to do. Not next week, not in a month, maybe in 6 years. My mom was planning our move from Israel to Canada. It took her 10 years to actualize her plan. 10 years. No, I'm lying, not 10 years. But 5 to 8 years, 100%. 5 to 8 years. And she did it very slowly. It was very hard. She figured it out. So I guess this is really not about moving to a different country, moving to a different place. This is about owning your life and knowing that you have the power, not always the means, but the power to kind of change it. And that's a mindset more than anything else. And again, I'm talking that, again, goes through, to the job, the relationship, the everything that you're in. And yeah, so that's kind of where I got a little bit stuck. And I'm open for discussion. I'm open for people to come and tell me, Valeria, this is how it is. Like, what you're talking about is fairy tale. And maybe it is, but that's just kind of where I'm at. And we talk about it with Gary all the time. Again, we built ourselves up together, and we made this move, and we did what needed to be done. And yes, our circumstances may be better than other people, but it's a mindset. I see friends of ours that are still in Canada. They keep talking about moving out, or keep talking about changing their careers, keep talking about leaving the marriage that they're suffering in, and they just stuck there. You know what I mean? That kind of triggers me. And am I speaking from a privileged point of view? Yeah, maybe, but that's just kind of my thought process at this point. So I wanted to kind of just put it out there, to really like take it out of my head, because otherwise it would just stay there and stick there over and over again. So I have been supplementing with some protein powders, and obviously doing a little research on the market. Not all protein powders are made in a clean way. The Clean Label Project did a study that found that 47% of the most popular protein powder exceeds lead and cadmium safety guidelines. That's why I've been on the market trying to find a clean option for myself, because girl gotta get her protein. And I'm so relieved to share that I have found Puri and their PW1 whey protein powder. So of course it's crafted with clean and high quality ingredients, but what's most important to me, and I hope you'd appreciate, it is also tested by a third party that tests for over 200 harmful contaminants, including heavy metals and pesticides, so you don't have to second guess what's in them. So it is no surprise that Puri is ranked number 1 cleanest protein powder out of 130 products in the Clean Label Project study. Plus, and that is a huge plus, I love that the flavors come from real ingredients, like their bourbon vanilla seeds from Madagascar for the vanilla protein. It is delicious. So do what I did and add Puri PW1 to your routine now. I do have an exciting deal for you if you want to take advantage. Right now you get 20% off, or if you choose their already discounted subscription, you get almost a third off the price. When you visit my exclusive URL, puri.com/Valeria, use my promo code Valeria. That's PUORI.com/Valeria. The discount is only available when you use my exclusive URL and use my promo code. So don't wait and enjoy. Another great question that I got asked when I talked about this whole like shift in mindset and change within myself, I got asked, do you think it is the Miami/bigger city/US environment that changed your mindset, or do you think it was the act of moving, going out of your comfort zone that changed your mindset, or the combo of both? And I have to say that I think it's the act of going out of your comfort zone. That's what I'm saying. It really has nothing to do with you picking up your bags and leaving. It's just about changing something, just feels stale in your life, and really leaning into the possibility of everything rather than the fear of the uncertainty, right? This is what I'm trying to say. Of course, I do have to say that it's probably a combo of both, because the US environment is very different than the Canadian environment, and I didn't realize it, how much it is, until I moved here. So I think it's a combination of both. Just me being an ambitious person and me feeling kind of stuck and wanting to be surrounded by a certain vibration, certain energy. So I got all of that when we moved here. Again, I would think that the first step for anybody who feels stuck is to make a drastic change in some kind of aspect of their lives, especially when you're younger. I think that it is such a gift to be able to move freely and to make decisions and to figure things out. I wouldn't waste time building this certainty and comfort zone and focusing on that, when you're in your 20s. But, we did it. I mean, I was in my 30s, Gary was in his 50s. So I guess any age is a good age to shake things up and to really change how you feel inside and the kind of life you want to lead. Okay, let's talk about kind of an update on life. I was saying that I've been feeling this shift of something really deep inside of me, some kind of like change in the way I see the world and the way I receive the world. And I was sharing it with Gary actually. I was saying how I'm really like sitting now in a place of abundance. And that's probably the biggest gift that Miami gave me or America gave me, because I feel it in the US. But Miami specifically, this is my bubble. This is what I'm talking about. This feeling of abundance, this feeling of anything is possible at all times, and it really is all up to me. I did not have that mindset before. And even though I tried so hard to break through those limitations of my mind, I couldn't. Even if rationally I could show myself and point at to people saying, oh, they did it, like it's possible, something just didn't click. And I'm telling you, in the last a month or two, there's just like my brain finally, like, it just came together. And it feels extremely powerful. This is not to say that I am not going through the motions of feeling low or down or inadequate or not good enough. All those things still, come through. I'm human. Those emotions will always come up, no matter how enlightened or aware or healed you are. You can't escape that. That's part of the human experience. So those still come, but I move through them differently. I move through them from a place of just like charged with this like weird power. I'm trying to also put my finger on what exactly happened that did that. And I think it's a few accumulation of things. By the way, I didn't start meditating every single day. And I feel like a lot of, for a lot of people, when they kind of transcend to that place, they attribute meditation or kind of, those things to it. I do it here and there. I try to live in a, more mindful way, but it doesn't always happen. So for me, that's not what brought it on. To me, it's definitely the kind of attention and intention behind it. Like I wanted it to happen, and I was paying attention to what made me feel more closer to it. So that, yes. But I would say it's the expansion of my mind based on the projects I've been picking up and the people that I've been meeting. And that's why I insist on telling you that environment is so important. I've been meeting people that have been expanding my mind to a point where my old self doesn't really have room in there anymore. The way I was thinking doesn't really match, what's happening there or here. So that's been a huge thing. I read, we were just on vacation right now with Gary. We went away to Cabo. And I was reading this book by Elena Cardone. She actually intimidated me a lot because she felt like a very powerful energy, something that I didn't know how to contain or how to really like correspond with. But I picked up her book. The book's called Empire, How to Build Your Empire, or something like How to Have It All. Again, not one that I would pick up based on the title, but something about her intrigued me. And I was reading the book, and, there was just this really simple, basic kind of statement that she made. And she was like, I want an extraordinary life. I want an extraordinary career. I want an extraordinary marriage. I don't want normal. I don't want normalcy. And this statement sounds so simple to many people, but for me, I feel like I've been chasing normalcy for so long because I didn't have it growing up that I kind of trapped myself in being in this like normal way of living and accepting it and like striving to have that, because anything more is just going to rock the boat. You know what I mean? Does that as I'm saying it, it's kind of like clicking to me, and it's very interesting. So when I read that statement, I was like, God damn, I want an extraordinary life. I really do. And it would be insane of me not to move with that intention in my life, because it's like God gave me everything. Like, it's all here on the table, from this like amazing supportive husband to beautiful kids to living in a place that sky's the limit, even there is no limit. Like, why can't I claim that for myself? So when I read that, I was like, I really highlighted it. And I actually messaged her and I was like, can you please come to my podcast? And we had a conversation, and it was amazing. But, so just like an aggregation of kind of small little moments where it just dawned on me, like, okay, I'm ready to break through whatever was the framework that I was like in, the mindset that I was in. It's time. It's time. Ooh, there's also this one quote on Pinterest that I actually share a lot of the stuff that resonate with me on my community tab on Instagram. But there's this one that really, like, oh my God, this is exactly where I'm at in my mind. And I'm going to read it to you. Here, normalize standing in awe of possibility instead of in fear of uncertainty. And again, I think making this drastic move in our life taught me to kind of stand with that belief and with that idea of, being in awe of possibility rather than being captivated by fear and tapped by, how do you say it? Blocked by fear of uncertainty. And that has truly been one of those things that changed for me since moving here. I actually got a lot of also questions about people wanting to know what exactly like shifted as well, because I said that we really grew individually and personally and together as a couple since we moved here. And one of those things is, again, because of the people you meet and the range of everyone's passions and hobbies and interests, it expands you to go and find joy in other things. Like, I feel like before we lived with this idea that joy is success. Success is financial success or career success. And that's kind of that, which understandably so, coming from, again, an immigrant household. Like, we love capitalism and it controls a lot of our way of being, but we're no longer in that place. We're no longer in that like trying to survive. We're, turning the page into kind of like thriving and starting a new phase for our family and the generations to come. And we had to really redefine what success means, but we didn't really know how to redefine it. And we also felt it back in Toronto, by the way. We needed to redefine what success is and what joy is and what happiness is, but we didn't know where to look or what to do because we didn't see it around us, So being here really gave me the opportunity to observe people and to learn how people find things that sets their soul on fire and how they are motivated and inspired, and then kind of bringing everything else into play, like the business, the money, all that stuff, like that comes after. But how do you fulfill yourself and fill up your cup with every day, because we were like swinging back and forth based on what was happening in our like career as entrepreneurs, which definitely never goes away. We still go through it. Anyone that has their own business understand what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's been beautiful to see. So, even talking to people that are maybe can't move or go somewhere else, like I understand it now. It really is about your community and the people you surround yourself with. It's so important to make sure that you are around people that move differently so they can influence you. You know what I mean? You can't be surrounded by people that do the same things as you or people that can negatively impact the things that you are doing, because then everything that you try to do will feel harder. If you're trying to be better, if you're trying to get better, it will be harder than to be surrounded by people that are just out of this world. You can look at them and be like, oh, I'm so inspired by that. So that has also been a huge thing for me. I have all these other things in my mind that, I used to believe in that are slowly changing as well. The idea of balance in life. Fucking hate that word. Sorry for cursing. I hate that word. The balance in life, I think that we just have such an idea of what it means. I don't think the word per se is bad. I just think that how we coined it and what it looks like is what's triggering me. But I just feel like it does such a disservice to everyone, honestly, in their lives. So this idea of like, you can't have balance in life, especially for like working moms, has been really something I've outgrew as well. First of all, I stopped looking and calling it balance, and I really call it integration. And work-life integration is something that is absolutely manageable and absolutely achievable. You just have to be very honest with yourself and your environment, and you have to learn to prioritize and know that these priorities constantly shift. And that has been like such an aha moment for me, where it's not about being the best in all aspects of my life at all times. It's about kind of choosing where I need to show up the best at any given day or time. For example, last week it was Art Basel in Miami, and I had a lot of work, and I sat down with my kids and I was like, listen guys, this week I'm not here. I'm going out, I'm distracted, I have things to do for work. So just letting you know, this is the week where I am giving my 100% to my job. Next week, I'm here for you. Whatever you need me to do, whatever is needed, I'm here, and that made me feel so much better and so much lighter. And I was really able to focus on what it is that I needed to focus on, rather than trying to do it all, burn myself out, feel stressed about it, and really not give my best to anything or anyone with my energy, because I don't have enough of it for everyone. So that integration is where I think there's going to be a shift for women, with learning where we prioritize based on the season and time and week that we're in. So major game changer for me. I'm just drinking my little bone broth over here, which brings me to my next update in life. I've been getting some interest on Instagram ever since I posted about the fact that I decided to stop doing Botox. It's been almost like 11 months, almost a year since my last Botox appointment. And this is by no means me saying that I have anything against it. I've actually started doing Botox at 32. And I did it because I arrived to Miami and I was like, okay, well, need to upgrade myself over here. But obviously also heard about Botox from all my friends. A lot of them started doing it at like 24, 25. So I waited. So I got to Miami. I started doing it once every like 9 months. So I've done it total like 3, maybe 4 times. And I get it. It looks great. And I really been aware of the conversations that's been happening online about the toxicity of Botox, about people with adverse reactions to it. And listen, I understand that a lot of it is fear-mongering, but there's also more data coming out, right? And I just wanted to see if I can find different ways to support myself and my skin and healthy aging without it. Again, I fully understand that we all get our toxins in one way or another, and I choose my toxins wisely. That's really it for me. There's no other explanation. I wanted to experiment. So I decided to kind of go off of it and see what I can do. It's been interesting. First of all, let me tell you that it's been 11 months, almost a year. It usually takes that long to start seeing kind of all the Botox go away. So a lot of the people that I've seen that talk about it, they're still in their like 6-8 month kind of run of no Botox. So I'm like, okay, that doesn't really, applicable. But I have been seeing some women showing up online and like beautiful faces. So aside from kind of trying to stay away from the toxin part, what also I wanted to kind of reset my mind with is the fact that because we've had so much exposure to these like flawless faces, I'm starting to but I'm starting to notice things on my face that I don't like, but deep down inside, I know that it's complete nonsense. So I'm starting to dislike my face because I've been kind of programmed to see beauty and what beauty is in like one way through like social media with, again, everything's tight, lifted up, smooth. And I don't want to lose myself there, Again, I might go back and do baby Botox once a year, but I want to remember and appreciate my face and not get a distorted idea of what aging looks like, if that makes sense. Listen to me, it's getting harder and harder, okay? With Christina Aguilera, Lindsay Lohan, like they're just literally, I don't know what they drank, what they did, who cut what, but they look insane. But again, it's not possible. Yeah, if you go and do your surgery, if you go do your facelift and all that stuff, which again, nothing against it, you will look like that. But I'm just worried I'm going to stop kind of knowing what real faces look like. So that's basically what I'm trying to do here. This is what I'm experimenting with. And so far it's been good. We'll see how it goes. I've been focusing on drinking water, getting my collagen. So I've been doing bone broth every day. By the way, I discovered this company called Borado, and they're amazing because at first I started making it myself at home and it's became a pain in the ass. So I dropped it and I'm like, okay, there must be a more convenient way. And in America, there definitely is. So this company, they ship to your house, basically, bone broths, and they have a whole variety of them. So started getting that. So now I can drink it every single day and do the red light, do my Lima laser thing. It's this wand that helps, or at least I saw that it helps. We'll see if it helps me. And yeah, like sauna, movement, water, good food, facials once a month, and microneedling, which really changed my skin and the texture of it. So that's been kind of my plan. Oh my God, and face taping. That's something that's been like, I don't know if you're getting the face taping craze that's going on, but that's huge. And I've been doing it and doing it about 2 to 3 times a week and been loving it. I have to say, it's been really nice. I don't truly understand the real kind of science behind it, but listen, costs $30 to buy a little face tape and experiment with it. So here I am. And I do love that I have full expression in my face. Not that I ever did Botox to an extent where I can't move anything, but like, this is important to me. So that's been really my kind of 2 things I've been focusing on. And I just can't wait to continue sharing, developing, evolving. Hopefully not triggering, but if I do, we're doing the inner work over here. And I would just want to have more solo episodes where we can catch up and I can share with you some of the things that are happening. So that is a wrap. Thank you so much for watching, for listening, both if you do. And I hope this 2025 will be filled with magic. Bye. I have to finish because Gary came home, because now we're filming from home and that has its own set of challenges. Thank you so much for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't miss my newest episode right here. And if you're listening to the podcast on Apple or Spotify, please go and leave a review with your biggest takeaway. I love reading your thoughts. And if you have any suggestions for guests or topics, you can leave them in the comment section. And always remember, you are not alone.